Good evening, good people, and welcome to Game 3 of Phoenix vs. Chanigan in the Winter Tournament 2025, the Great Chaos Caper. I'm Saracen, joined in the booth by the Radical Nerd himself. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Tonight we are starting with a Forced Fighter and White Mage. The fighter has Learn Slow for plus Absorb. Normally the fighter cannot learn any black magic, but we have the Dark Knight and White Ninja flag sets enabled, which means that upon promotion they will have their magic swapped, and this is giving us the clue that Slow is in the first 4 levels of black magic. And the plus Absorb is quite a lot. So for a fighter in the front, that could be a very good tank. The White Mage gets plus 25 agility, so it might be dodging a few more Kraken whacks than normal this time. Although our runners have chosen different third-party members. Phoenix has taken the Red Mage, which has buff magic, which is probably what I would have chosen because a guaranteed fast is really huge in this flag set, because it's very essential for getting chaos down quickly. Chanigan, however, has taken the Black Mage, which has an almost buff magic with plus temper. Not seen here is the Thief, which has Equip Gauntlet and Helmet, which I guess makes it slightly more good as a tank, but we already have the Fighter and it's a pretty good tank. But it's possible that our runners do pick it up. There are a few things, including lockpicking, that make the Thief worthwhile in these flags.
You know, that slow for plus absorb, it's easy to overlook it, but on a fighter specifically, that is a huge bonus. Getting into our first shop, Harm and Lamp notable. Lamp very good in these flags because of the improved Dark Flag. Fire 3, Temper, Zap, all very strong spells. Confuse, kind of a backline to that. And a Fighter for hire in Canaria, so nah, pass. Moderate house prices, not terrible, but not great. Wood Armor plus 5, pretty good. Silver Bracelet plus 4, pretty good, but a little more expensive than I want to see on a silver. And into the map derp Chanigan goes.
Yeah, one great thing about the Red Mage is that it can equip stronger armor than either of the other mages, and it can equip that really strong wood armor.
Yeah, that plus 5 wood armor is real armor, and you know, it's easy to overlook it because it's wood armor, but at plus 5, it's basically wiped out the disadvantage to evasion that you had, and it's almost on par with chain, really. I saw the word slain, I thought. That doesn't make sense. It probably was just damage. But Phoenix loses the White Mage in this initial round. Chanigan takes out Garland, no problem. The Mage Stick, very useful this early in the seed. Fire 2 casts for free onto your fighter who doesn't have a weapon yet is pretty nice. We saw a Cube and a TNT coming from the Royals. I don't really think that changes our early game routing. I still want to go get Bicky and Provoca taken care of first, and I think that's what Chanigan's about to head to.
Yeah, the one thought I always have when making that is, what if it's the canoe and I want to go to Crescent Lake from Provoca, but I still have that TNT or Adamant turn in on the other direction. So sometimes it does work out better to turn it in first, but I think usually it's better to go to Provoca.
Cure 4 notable in the White Magic, so that is going to be Red Mage learnable as well. Bane and Ice 2, I guess. The Black Magic, not very impressive. White Mage for hire in Provoca. Phoenix also heading over generally. He's going to stop in Matoya's cave first. I like to save before the rivers if I'm going to do that. There is the canoe from Bicky, which is real big.
White shirt and Matoya's plus a bunch of money. I think that was worthwhile.
I think so too. You might not have found shards or big name like offense, but a white shirt is very valuable. It allows you to do certain activities much earlier than you might otherwise feel comfortable doing. White mage having problems staying upright. I'm very curious. I see Chanigan's left the white mage in slot 2. I don't know if that's a I don't care if it dies, or if it's a I'm just trying to tank more hits away from the black.
Yeah, because the white mage does have, I think, the plus 25 agility, which means that it can tank more hits than the black mage can.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to tank hits with it, but it's actually worth considering, especially if you were planning to get rid of the white mage anyway, putting it in slot 1 to utilize that extra agility and just see if you can reduce first strikes against your party and that sort of thing. Chanigan does take out the Hooray Dwarf. We get a canal from Eric, which, hello, Vanilla. And off and away we go. Chanigan gonna head over to Elfland right quick. Phoenix still catching up on getting the magic situation taken care of, but will be probably heading in that direction as well.
Every once in a while, when I talk to Narek and then he disappears, I realize that it's not the NPC guillotine and that it's actually vanilla behavior. And it always makes me feel a little bit strange.
Well, he's got to go get to work,
Yeah.
That or there was some very, very poor OSHA standards in place here. Notable on Chanigan's side, he's very low on money. He just picked up the Saber plus 4, it looked like, and
Saber plus 4 is pretty good and pretty cheap. The
yeah.
Phoenix is going to feel pretty good with the extra money he picked up at Matoya's.
Chain plus 2 is very good armor. It is... Chain plus 2 is very reasonable. I mean, to me, it's almost endgame armor. But I think that it still outshines the wood plus 5 that we saw. Phoenix is going to go around the other way. That is very interesting to me.
Well, I think it's probably going to work out because it was the canal that we got from Narek, which isn't helpful right away.
So, the yes but is we didn't check the Elfland shop when Chanigan was there. We get the ruby, which is available to turn in. So we don't know. Melmond. Yeah, we have the river to Melmond that's going to allow us to get over there without the ship. But the thing that's interesting is we didn't see the Elfland item shop, so we don't know if that's where the shop item is. We never saw level 4 magic, which isn't immediately material, but it's very helpful information. Phoenix's cursor strats will continue to vex me for the rest of this evening. Because yes, that is a hallmark of Phoenix right there. He just leaves the cursor on his game window, and he doesn't realize that he has the cursor captured. Somehow it doesn't bother him.
It doesn't bother me when I leave it there until I realize that I forgot to turn off the cursor in OBS and I'm watching it back.
Our fabulous restreamer is saying, I've tried moving my own mouse a few times to get rid of it. Yeah, every restreamer has done that. Every single one. In fact, I did it too.
Both runners saw Warp at level 6 in Crescent Lake, and Warp is quite helpful. Maybe not as much as usual because Ice Cave isn't incentivized, but it's still a strong spell to have to quickly get out of things.
Fade learnable by that red mage at level 4, which is very nice. Lock 2 also available at level 4, which is helpful. Bane
Sword and Iron +3.
Pro Rings 11.5. Not terrible, not great, but we'll get there. We do know that whatever is in the Titan's Trove is actually an item because it was in the marked box. And it is the crown, so no real indication on that yet. We'll see if something funny happens when we get to Sarda.
Meanwhile, Phoenix is right about to dive Volcano. A lot of these winter tournament seeds have very little route divergence at the beginning, with a lot of linearity, but here it has given a lot of options. And there's the Chime, which means that Chanigan does not need to worry about a Chime bonk for the rest of the run.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned the Chime bonk because I saw Phoenix save before going into Volcano, and I was like, is this a moment of tragedy? Like, do you save and then bonk, and then you're like, oh, I could have reset out of that entire river travel. So the follow-on unfortunate, though, is that the crown could be something, but that chime doesn't necessarily tell us anything. All it tells us is we can get places. But with the shuffled chime access, yes, we're worried about a random bonk, and sometimes that can be painful, but it doesn't really, like, guide us anywhere. Especially since, like, we don't have full mobility, we don't have a ship, we don't have an airship. Those are connected in this flag set because of airboat. So, yeah, we're still kind of stuck trudging around. We'll have to see what comes out. But realistically, the ship either has to be Volcano or whatever comes out of this crown tournament.
I just want to point out, because I think it's fun, is that Phoenix used Fire 3 to take out a fire in Volcano for 25 damage.
You know, sometimes you just have to work with what you got. Astos has the rod, which is hilarious. The rod now giving us that early Earth, something that we were very familiar with last winter tournament. As the old saying goes, let the bodies hit Earth 4. Ice Sword +4, Flame Sword +1. The Flame Sword +1 gives the Red Mage something to swing if it runs out of charges, which is good. Wizard Stick, very helpful here because it can cast Confuse, and Carry is weak to the status element. You could actually use that to great effect. Alright, Chanigan finally checking the stores here. Not very impressed with the black magic, will be very impressed with the fade, but doesn't have the money, it looks like. It was a very expensive store. And the call out from Wildhammer Tracker that there was no punishment for missing the Elfland shop because it was not the shop item. Phoenix, having looted out the armory, going to go out and save. Probably going to dive back in to get deeper. And Chanigan heading towards her.
Earth Cave is interesting with this. Sometimes it is the worst experience other times you get through rather quickly and it has a great item. The vanilla touches are pretty bad, but it really comes down to the encounter table and the spells that are present here.
What's nice about Earth Cave is that we have Fire 3 as a spell, and that's actually good here. Whereas Fire 3 not doing a whole heck of a lot for Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix is having to fight fire with fire. Chanigan, however, is going to be up against lots of enemies that are weak to fire. Although Phoenix is carrying on quite well, picking up multiple shards.
Also notable is that was an Ice +4 armor, I think, that just got picked up. That is very helpful. That fighter is looking pretty thick. Chanigan down to Fighter Black Mage, which I think is a party that he's much more comfortable with than Fighter White Black. Flame Armor +3, you know, that's basically an Ice +4, sure. Alright, Phoenix down a Red Mage. Not great. But the Red D goes down very easily. That's good information, potentially. Certainly helpful for when we go do the Cardia checks, because all of those boxes with their local formations will be Dragon-esque. Now, here's a real problem. Vanilla touch attacks. Oh, he gets away. I'm going to be honest, if I see two characters get stunned by a 9-pack like that, I'm resetting. Crystal out of Volcano, so who knows? Could be useful. A
Ribbon out of Earth.
The Asher Trunk always pays out.
Now, you brought up an interesting point with the Cardia chest. Normally, Cardia has no encounters, but the trap chests demand encounters. So our devs have made it so that all the boxes have dragons in them. So it's a very good source of XP.
Yeah, the Cardia checks are pretty wonderful, honestly.
Yeah, if you want to add your 4th character late, the Cardia aisles make that possible because you can get them up to level 10 very quickly there, assuming you are a little bit lucky with the quantity of shards available.
Gargoyles. Nobody likes seeing that. I suspect after this box that Phoenix is going to walk it out. Because 2 bodies going up against Carrie is not healthy. So, yep, there is the walking back trip. Meanwhile, Chanigan onto the 4th floor of Earth, where we are going to find something. Who knows? There's 8 chests to check on this floor, and one of them has the key item. Or incentive, rather. Because it could just be equipment, and that'd be really funny. There's another ribbon. Earth is fantastic today. Wow.
Opal +4.
Solid armor. And again, that slow plus absorb, I want to say it's 40 absorb? It's a massive number. Suddenly you don't care about Kraken hitting you when you have an Opal armor +4 and slow plus absorb.
Yeah, the Knight is very good at this seed.
Yeah, this is a very potent Knight. Just a moment of, wait a minute, I don't go to ice in these flags. I've been there too, Phoenix. I know. Alright. We are up to the moment of truth as we find out, hey, is this actually? And the answer is going to come to us very shortly. The bottle
Bottle.
comes out of there, and the ship comes out of Earth. Okay, so Earth the play off of the back of Ruby for Crown for the rod. So, alright, feels bad a little bit, but it's not like this is lost time. This has all been helpful for Phoenix. He has also not turned in the TNT yet, which is, again, notable. Hey, it's Lich. You know what is less of a problem when you're fighting Lich with a vanilla script? Those ice spells, because we have 2 ribbons.
Oh, that's right.
I worry about vanilla Lich. Like, vanilla Lich at low levels is actually threatened. But, yeah 2
it's
ribbons...
good game design.
2 ribbons, actually nice. And we see Chanigan had pumped those level 8 temper charges from the Black Mage into the fighter. Just gives something to do, something for damage. I would not be surprised if we see heal pot oh, no, 32 damage and terminated, because even with a buffed HP pool, Lich doesn't got a whole lot going on.
Yeah, that Black Mage has lots of casts of Temper because of the plus Temper plus the Temper at level 1, I think it was.
Yeah, well, level 1 was exhausted mostly by Fire 3 casts. So,
right.
I think that it was just those last 2 casts from level 8. But still, very helpful.
I want to point out that we have not yet seen Fast in levels 1 through 6, which is not something you want to see.
That is very
concerning. Coming in with the built-in buff magic is a very great thing to have.
So, that is actually mitigated in this seed because of the Black Mage having plus Temper. Because that's going to force 2 slots of level 8 magic. And then, if it's level 7, that sucks. But, you could just level to that. Level 8 spell charges start at, 25 or something, and it's kind of absurd. You never really want your mages that high.
Well, you get the 2 free charges.
Yes.
That's a good point.
Could be enough, because we have level 1 Temper. And Fire 3, once you get into Topher, is not a thing you want to cast. It's not a great spell. But the Nightmare situation now is actually level 7, coming from Onrak or Gaia. And we'll see what happens on. Alright, Chanigan headed over to Ordeals, which is the last logical play other than Volcano for him. I think 99% on that.
Yeah, so that means this has to either be a turn-in item or the floater.
Right.
From our information as commentators seeing both runs at the same time.
I'm guessing that it's going to be the key. This chest that Chanigan is checking is linked to the top floor. So some people like to check it when you have a exit or warp and it's early enough in the run, so that you can check it, and if it's the incentive, you can just leave. And you don't have to do the rest of the maze, and it's all good. I understand the play of checking it in another perspective, which is it's also a spike tile that a lot of people don't go to.
Yeah, I only check it if I'm running a black belt and I need a spike tile.
Yeah, it's not a super common choice. It's not even a great tile unless you have, telemagic on your black belt. Alright, Phoenix making the walk to Earth. Chanigan is through the maze, so it's Dragon plus 5 armor. I guess we figured out that that opal's not so valuable anymore. This fighter is going to be so thick. Oh no. This is the nightmare scenario. Yeah, so a thing about vanilla touches is they don't care about your ribbon. The death touch is not death element in vanilla touches, and that is a very sad fact. So sorcerers are particularly dangerous, and seeing it tap one of your casters right out the gate is not great. Phoenix going and checking an additional room over what Chanigan did, and I understand it's an often skipped room, and if it turns out good, it's great. Pickles, your comment makes me sad. Just that's it. I say this as the person who brought up the idea of, hey, what if we just made trance status elements so that the ribbon works? Art Tracker Wildem calling out that Chanigan skipped the dragon armor chest, which is funny, you know, it's like 4 steps out of the way, but I think there's a degree of, I've got the opal, I've got 2 ribbons. There was going to be a ribbon on this night anyway. Worth pointing out as well, Phoenix is like level 15 on the red mage, and I think the fighter as well. Those levels are very helpful. The white mage lost a bit of time for being knocked out in one of the fights in Volcano, but, you know, these things happen. Line Batkers. We get to make that joke because it's the Super Bowl right now. So that was the herb, by the looks of it, coming out of our Ordeals play.
Now the herb getting turned in, it is an adamant. So what do you think? It's either going to be more turn-in items, or it's going to be the floater.
Well, let's see. More turn-in items is the key. Because we know where the crystal was. Oh, and it can't be the slab, because we can't get there. It's the key! Everybody gets relieved when they see that. In part because we now know, hey, like, that's just off the table, that's another item in the chain, it's like right here. But that does mean that Canaria Treasury has to be the floater.
Yeah, the key is especially nice in these flags because we have Mermaid Prison. To get the C incentive, you have to have key.
Yep, and, well, you could get a Thief to level 22, because we do have Thief lockpicking at a relatively high level.
Yeah,
I don't like that play, but...
The level is high enough that's mostly there so that you don't have to worry about key for diving Topher. But it is definitely possible to level up the thief to go and grab that. Phoenix finding the ship and Earth.
Finding the mage and fighter tile also, like specifically choosing to walk on it. But hey, there's a floater, which means we got an airboat. Team Rocket blasting off again. Alright, so time to see what we get out of the cardia checks. Honestly, I love seeing lots of shards in here, just because that means more dragon fights. It is the Power Gauntlet, so that is one of our incentivized non-key items. And quite a good one at that. Frosty. We like Frosties. We've got Fire 3. Meanwhile, Phoenix running up to Lich. This is going to be a much easier fight for Phoenix than it was for Chanigan. And Blue Ds. We're also happy with these. They are also vulnerable to fire. But they cast Brack. Excuse me. But they hit the ribbon wearers. It's fine. They also cast Cure 3. That's rude. Please leave. They just changed it onto the one. These are the best Blue Ds I've seen in a long time. I love it.
Usually I'm really happy to see Blue Ds when I'm grinding for XP and Cardia. Those ones were very resilient.
My general view of it is that Blue Ds are like the worst of the dragons because they're almost always super thick, and they're just not as rewarding as the Gas Ds. I like Gas Ds much more. Blue Ds always seem to be worse. Katana plus 5. Suddenly we're thinking about a thief. Not very hard, but we are.
I mean, the fighter is so good that it's not hard to just take the three-man party the whole way.
Exactly.
For both players.
Alright, Phoenix into the ordeals. And what an ordeal it will be. From a shard count perspective, our runners are actually pretty even, which is kind of funny, you know, given that Volcano was good, but it like didn't have a lot.
Right, we do get to turn in the bottle.
Not Chanigan. Chanigan.
Oh yeah, not Chanigan.
That is a crystal to bottle to hear Shindig, but is going to check magic. Is going to revive the Black Mage. And this is funny. Probably so that he can see if... Oh no, he's just walking it out. He just needed to revive for reviving's sake.
Caravan item?
Is that the caravan and relevant? How's that for you? That moment of, nope, I already got the key.
Mermaid Prison is really fun, except for the one time that it ends up in TFC instead of mermaids.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing was checking the Gaia tavern to see what the class was. We saw another fighter in our on-rack tavern. That's slightly concerning. Hey, by the way, you remember those sorcerers?
Yeah, Phoenix Party just got completely wiped by them.
Yeah, this is I mentioned the body problem when we were talking about Carrie earlier and why Phoenix was going to walk that out. The sorcerers also present a body problem in a very different way when they have their vanilla non-elemental death touch. Like, there's always a degree to which you just want another body present to absorb potential hits and therefore potential deaths. And the thief is actually a wonderful tool for that, in particular just because of the evasion that the agility brings. Gershark Big Eye, everybody takes it. It's fantastic. It's less fantastic.
This one's a little bit better. Or actually, wait, no, it was the Gershark that had the Fire 3, not the Eye.
It sure was, and there was no healing done between these fights. Damage poison!
Oh!
And Fire 3! Hello! Would you like to have a script? I would love to have a script, sir. Thank you. It's okay, the ribbons are doing their job. Alright, Phoenix turns in the herb for the adamant. We'll now go and get an adamant key, which sounds like it'd be a pretty good deal, very hard to break.
Meanwhile, Chanigan is down to one party member, just the big fighter. And realizing that it might not be a great idea to go for extra shards right now.
Oh, this presents some issues, as the Banesword does Banesword things and promptly does nothing for us. Phoenix gonna check the Dwarf Lock. I don't think Chanigan did this on the initial pass-through. There are 2 shards with wizards. You know what Chanigan never bought? Fade.
Yeah, and Chanigan also switched from Bane strats to using the Power Bonk and now hitting each lobster one by one.
I don't hate it. The lobsters aren't really doing a whole lot to this fighter. Yeah, it's fine. We'll get there. What I don't like is this lack of carbonation. As a founding member of Bubble Soda Company, you know, it does fall on me to call out these horrible occurrences where the mermaid remains alive. More lobsters desperately trying to pinch through Phoenix's fighter's armor. There's a lot of absorbed there. We haven't even gotten to the part where it gets nutty.
Yeah, we haven't promoted the fighter yet. at which point we will be able to put on lots of great armor and learn slow for the extra absorb.
Yeah, I think that this is the rare seed where the fighter is going to eclipse 100 absorb. Let that sink in for a second. That is absolutely bonkers.
One plus of running around with just the fighter is that that fighter is getting a ton of XP right now and is going to be carrying Chanigan through Topher.
That's true.
The only problem is
go ahead.
Because of the Black Knight, the fighter will not be able to carry his fellow party members through.
There is the tail, though. And that is wonderful news.
Yeah, out of all the checks that I would want in Chanigan's situation, that is the item I would hope for.
100%. I probably would have left those 3 chests behind, because I knew from looking in Bubbles' room that none of them had the Xbox, but I'm on board with checking them in this case, on the off hope that we get something better as a weapon than what we currently have, which is still that Scimitar +4, if I remember right.
Phoenix is having a bit of a better experience with the blue Ds. Got a few bracks out, but none of them landed, and that was about it. Aid was helpful in getting them out quickly, and also finding the power bonk.
Alright, Chanigan very likely to walk this out. I'm gonna guess revive party and maybe just go promote before doing anything else. Probably not. I think Chanigan's gonna revive and dive back and try to take out Crack.
I think in this situation, the optimal routing would be to promote, then come back later to do Waterfall and Kraken.
It's hard to say.
It is. We don't have a legendary sword yet.
Yeah. That is, I think, the main reason why you wouldn't go promote right now. Beyond it is a diversion. Like, leaving and coming back to Onrak is a nightmare. Maybe the goal is find something here and then go do Crack inside. Because, like, we had Brack, right?
I think we saw it. I'm not sure if we picked it up.
Oh, Brack was level 5, and I don't think Chanigan necessarily looked very hard at that. But Bane was possible, and I just don't know if Bane actually happened.
I think Chanigan did have the Bane sword on the fighter, so the fighter could just be doing power bonks while maybe the white mage is throwing out Bane sword.
You know what's really funny? Besides getting a defense sword from that bottle, I don't think either runner checked the level 8 Gaia shop, which is, like, just Gaia. And, I mean, Phoenix, I think it makes a little bit more sense to not check that shop, because in the case of Phoenix's party, having a red mage, you're not going to learn anything.
Yeah, and the red mage also already has fast.
Yeah. But, I mean, at least checking level 7, until you check the on-rack shops, like, now you're pretty sure learning fast was just out of the books entirely.
It's the slab from the robot.
Unfortunate. I mean, it's like the worst of all possible turn-ins, but at least in Chanigan's case, you can route, translate, promote, translate, turn in, and then hit the superstore to get all of the spells that you need. So, like, that as a thought process, I think is the play that Chanigan is thinking of.
I think our runners might have given each other a high five. Chanigan on his way out from Waterfall, and Phoenix on his way to the robot.
Spell Costco is a very interesting way of framing that. If you're not familiar with that flag, the the Lefanish Superstore is everything but Gaia's magic. It turns out Gaia has patents on those spells, and it would be illegal for Lefane to resell them. But all the other places, they didn't really care. They licensed it out. It's fine. So we just extended it, and now there's 14 more doors to go in.
Yeah, Lefane Superstore is really nice because otherwise, Lefane is a really terrible spot that has just the worst turn-in and one slot of level 8 magic. The Superstore makes it worthwhile to go to sometimes.
Yeah, I really like the Superstore flag, and I really like it in some very specific contexts. The contexts I particularly like it in are when I also turn on Bridge to Lefane and flag. And you can just be like, haha, I'm walking there from Canaria.
I remember during the Duckling Rally, during the week with EFT Shuffle, there were so many times that Canaria location was Lefane and we had access to all the magic right away.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun when that happened, huh?
Chanigan now promoting. And Phoenix did put exit on the White Mage. So he will be able to exit out of sea very quickly after finding the incentive tail.
Assuming that he has charging.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure how high leveled that White Mage actually is.
Yeah, because you need something like 20? 21? I'm not 100% sure on the numbers. Honestly, I don't think very hard about spells over level 4. So, yeah. Phoenix just got 20. Okay. So yeah, chat confirming Phoenix probably going to have to walk that out. These waters are hitting pretty heckin' hard, but Ice 2 gonna do its thing. We can see Chanigan now swapping armor around. That fighter is a monster. Now it's time to go loot out a volcano. Yeah, I do want to agree with chat on this. 3 races for a best of 3 in a single day is, quite frankly, a lot. 2 in a row is rough, and they did that this morning, for Phoenix, a pretty ungodly hour, something closer to 7 a.m., because Phoenix is in mountain time, if I remember right. But, yeah... Then, to go back-to-back on that, and then be like, oh, we actually do need a Game 3? Guess we're going to do that tonight.
The thing I'm currently wondering right now is whether Phoenix is going to carbonate bubbles.
I mean, I hope so.
There are 3 types of runners. Those who carbonate bubbles, those who avoid carbonating bubbles, and those who only carbonate bubbles if she happens to be in the way.
It's true. That really is the categorization. And the thing that's really funny to me is that a lot of the don't carbonate bubbles people just manifest as, I'm not even going into her room.
Yeah.
Just don't look.
The high number of rock goals is pretty nice from a grinding it for XP perspective in C. There have been quite a few of them there. I don't think they typically show up in C, it's just that Mermaid's Floor doesn't usually have encounters.
It's true. Yeah, I think so. The local formations pulls from the encounter table of the zone, and this zone just doesn't have encounter. Period. But it has a table of what those encounters should be, because that's how it populates the marked boxes. It's just you can't trigger them. So, okay, whoopsie doodle. All right, so Phoenix has gotten the tail and knocking that out, and oh no, is walking straight to Kraken side. We believe, chat. We believe in the power of this fighter and Red Mage and White Mage.
It is a very strong combo. The fighter will have both the power bonk and fast from the red mage.
And a defense sword. The defense sword being able to put Ruse onto the knight is very helpful here. We have a ribbon, we have a power bonk, we have better swords than what Chanigan's been. Like, this Kraken shouldn't be an issue.
But before we see Kraken, we get to watch Chanigan fight Carrie.
Hi, Carrie. So it's looking like Sky has our loot. Just, from a accounting perspective.
I think so. Probably also has a bunch of shards in it.
Our runners are actually at pretty decent shard counts. Phoenix is a lot closer if he takes out this Kraken than Chanigan will be.
I think Chanigan just picked up a thief?
Oh, the thief was in Crescent Lake this whole time. Okay, I missed that. Oh, that's right. We also have a slab to turn in. Thank you, Rube.
Oh yeah, and X-Cal's still out there. So Slab Turn-In is either going to have the X-Cal or the loot.
Yep. It looks like Chanigan is headed in that direction-ish.
And we haven't seen any legendary weapons yet, so the Excalibur would be a great thing to see with these fighters.
That's true. But the flip side of it is, with the level 1 temper and the fast available on that red wizard or red mage, I don't necessarily know that we need it. It would just be nice, right?
Yeah, it would be nice.
The crit availability here is much better. But looking at our shard counts, according to our tracker Wildham, Phoenix has 21, Chanigan has 20.
I forgot about the white shirt that we picked up earlier.
That is
And
very
Matoya's.
helpful as well. And also the Bane Sword, potentially a method of dealing with this whole situation as well.
Oh yeah, I didn't see. Did the Bane Sword get moved?
The Bane Sword
yeah,
is
it
on the
did.
White Mage. And there is the loot at the slab turn-in. That, honestly, if Phoenix does slab before going into Sky, puts Phoenix at a pretty substantial advantage because he's not going to need to do all of Sky if he doesn't want to. He just needs to figure out 3 more shards than what he's going to have after this fight. This Kraken remaining upright much longer than I expected, with it taking 550 damage a swing from this fighter, but probably
I think
not
it
long.
also dodged a few swings. It's been very evasive.
Yeah. That would
And the
cause
Bane just has not been landing, despite a large amount of persistence from the White Mage.
But down goes Kraken, and that is going to put Phoenix at a substantial 5-shard lead. 3 more to go on his side.
Meanwhile, Chanigan going through the Superstore. I was looking at the Kraken fight, so I did not see if Chanigan put slow on the fighter. But I assume that he remembered.
I'm going to assume he didn't remember, because that's the sort of thing that's really easy to forget 55 minutes into a seed. Alright, Phoenix going to translate, and I suspect will turn that in before going off to Sky.
Yeah, as pointed out in chat by our tracker, the X-Cal will be unmarked in Sky, but I think it's still worth checking the unmarked boxes in Sky, because you could find the Excalibur, or you could find another legendary sword first. Either way, it'd be very helpful.
Phoenix, remembering his order of operations, needs to go promote. Phoenix has not yet gone to Mirage Sky, so there's 2 shards on the first floor already. Like, this is honestly, I think, super easy for Phoenix to just say, I'm going to put the power bonk in command and learn slow, and suddenly this knight's going to be untouchable. Like, oh, you're going to nuke me, I guess. That's my problem. How do I heal through that? But, we saw plenty of stuff come in on Phoenix's side. I think that this is going to be a very easy play to try to jump, and that's going to be the more aggressive style that I think Phoenix feels he needs in this matchup against Chanigan.
Rube's asking, how much is the bonus for learning slow?
I think it's
either
40.
I think it's either plus 40 or plus 80.
It is a large number. That knight is going to be untouchable. But does he remember the bonus?
I don't think Phoenix went into the level 3 magic.
That's a problem. Question, you get buffs for learning spells? Well, if you have that specific bonus, you do.
Yeah, the fighter has Blurting Learn Slow plus Absorb.
Mechlin confirming it is plus 40. It, again, is a large number. Like, it is basically the same as putting on the dragon armor. Which, actually, in this scene, the dragon armor is +5, and so it's 50 absorb there. So, yeah, this knight, if you learned slow on the knight, would just have absolutely ridiculous absorb.
Yeah, and also no cost to evade with that either.
Yeah. It turns out that knight armor is actually super good.
It is.
And there's that X-Cal in CC's Gambit, only a +2. That means it has an 8% crit, and I'm not a huge fan of that. On Chaos, I think I'd actually swap to the defense. We're walking right on by that Warmech. Heck that guy. Phoenix is going to continue up, which I don't think is really particularly required here, unless he's very specifically going after that X-Cal. And starting with the Bane Sword Room, which has money. Okay, cool. Oh, Phoenix skipped the first floor of Mirage. Alright.
Nearing in on the hour here. And both runners in Sky. Chanigan on the Bridge of Destiny about to fight Tiamat.
And that will be the final 4 shards for Chanigan.
Yeah, we're nearing it at the end here. Going for a Brack, hoping to get a very quick Tiamat. But the fighter will be able to take care of it quickly if not. Broken into pieces, it worked!
That's some of the best news that Chanigan's had all seed. Alright, we are in stock up and go on Chanigan's side. Except for the part where we were already stocked up. That's kind of funny. Hey look! Phoenix hits it on the first chest. How nice is that? Phoenix, where?
The banjo?
Phoenix, where go? Phoenix, you still need 1 shard. Where go?
I think here you could just go to Toph and check the 3 chests in the locked rooms. Oh, bonk on the orb.
Phoenix. Alright, well, Chanigan off to a great start by losing both of his casters to nuke on Lich. Yeah.
And this one is really close, especially if Phoenix can get his last shard here at the Elfland Treasury.
Nope.
Which there isn't one.
Oh. The part that hurts me the most out of this is knowing that Phoenix, like, checked his menu just outside of Mirage. And you can tell he's lost and frantic now, because, like, there's never a reason to go down that left side in Earth 1. Like, it's a dead end. We know it's a dead end. It's a terrible dead end. But, like, yeah. Carry 2 down on Chanigan's side. And we're realizing, oh wait, yeah, we have this ribbon that's not being used by anybody. Maybe we should put that on the ninja. Where go, buddy? Where are you going? We're settling on killing Carrie by the looks of it. This ninja hasn't been around very long, but is already level 20. Like, the experience in Topher is very real, especially when you're two-manning it. But the real question is, can we actually succeed here? We're down to man mode.
Man mode against Kraken can be very scary. Although with Vanilla Kraken, I believe it's actually less likely to hit than Kraken 1 because of its spells. And Lit 2 is not scary.
Right. So Kraken 2 goes down. Xcal continuing to put in work. Alright, Carry 1. Go away. Give me my shards.
Fast comes out first, and I think this is a one hit with 1,280 damage.
I saw level 27 on one of Phoenix's characters, by the way. That's pretty good. We are power bonking our way to the moon against this Tiamat, and I agree, that's a good plan. Alright, we're through the loot plate on Phoenix's side. One small heart attack later. And Chanigan, meanwhile, through Tia 2, but... Whoo boy, is this a scary time to be man-moding chaos with a vanilla spell list and script.
Nuke not taking out of any Phoenix's characters.
Question in chat, where did Fast roll? Well, thanks to our fantastic tracker Wildham, we know that Fast was level 8 in Gaia, which neither of the runners actually walked into that shop, and Chanigan could have and learned it on the Black Wizard and had charges of it. Because the Black Mage had 2 charges from the plus temper bonus. Well, Slow 2 landed, Dreams dead.
This does give Phoenix a big opportunity, though.
It's true.
She's coming through carry.
Honestly, Phoenix is in a pretty good position, having run that 3-man this whole time. Sure, Chanigan also ran 3-man for most of the seed, but Phoenix sticking with it, I think, cemented some additional levels in that got deferred over to the Thief on Chanigan's side. But at the same time, Chanigan had the extra levels in C because of man-mode lobster fights for Shard. It's hard to tell. This game is complicated.
We're hitting for mostly 2-digit damage with a couple of bigger hits, but that's going to be the end of Chanigan's night. Time for dive number 2.
Let's go. We're back to Lich. Lich notably having removed both of Chanigan's casters the first dive.
Yeah. Thankfully,
Not even waiting for the Black Wizard to die.
Because it's mid-Topher, resetting out of a Lich nuke really isn't very punishing.
That's true. This is a very short walk by comparison. I don't like what Kraken just did to that white mage, but, you know, sometimes you just gotta deal. We are committing a fast cast from the Red Wizard onto the knight, which is a big commitment. You know, don't get me wrong, that's actually a big deal here. All right,
Yeah,
two-man. Two-man get into chaos, assuming nothing horrible. Okay, cool. You have to assume nothing horrible happens there, because a lot of the times something horrible happens there. Phoenix very traumatized by a particular ambush nuke worm pack from a tournament long since past.
Two Castle the Defense Sword, and also a nice lock 2 on Chaos. And Cracked
That
takes
was
out the knight.
Oh, because Phoenix moved the ribbon to the white mage and didn't move it back to the knight for the chaos fight. That's rough. It's very easy this deep into a seed against an opponent that you respect, because both of these opponents respect each other very much. They're, you know, we're all good friends in the community. I've known Phoenix and Chanigan for a long time as well. They're good buddies. Yeah, like they know that they're feeling that they're losing. Both of them are. The nuke lands, but it doesn't do much. Kraken, please. Kraken, why? Also, probably wouldn't have happened if Chanigan had bought slow on the night. Just throw that out there. Chanigan has put out good damage, and the Quad X lands. That is going to be Kraken down, and our one life charge we'll be able to use to bring that knight back up.
I really like Quad X. It has a great design for an instant death spell.
It is based off of Power Word Kill from D&D, but it's certainly a better hit point threshold. It is a fabulous design. Just if you don't resist it and you have the numeric problem, yeah, under 300 is the limit, or 300 and under. I can never remember.
Yeah,
you can
300.
change the limit in the flag set. But I believe this is left at the 300 limit. Whenever we set it higher, it is inclusive of 300. Okay. Whenever we set it higher, it becomes this super priority spell.
Yeah, and also enemies that have it basically one-shot almost any party member, even at high levels. I think it also applies to stun and other spells.
Yep. Anything that falls into the power word category. Alright, Chanigan jiggling some equipment around, putting a ribbon onto Root, who is still alive. What else are we putting there? That looks like it. Alright. Chanigan, Chaos, round 2.
defense sword and wall, so both of them now have ribbon equivalent.
I mean, they should both have ribbons, period. But, you know. Phoenix tempering up to deal with Tiamat. Doing pretty decent there. Chip damage coming out of Chaos right now. The slow 2 lands on the Knight. So this is one of those things that you kind of have to worry about when you're down to 2 characters. Honestly, Chanigan should have probably swapped those 2 around. Put the Knight into slot 3, let the White Mage eat hits, and potentially get targeted by the slow 2. Because just putting the White Mage up there drastically reduces the possibility of that slow 2 hitting. Like, we're hitting decently hard, but it's just not going to happen.
Phoenix did move the fighter to the bottom and Red Mage to the top. Also going into Chaos now, and with Fast, because of that all very useful buff magic.
The slow 2 still goes to the Knight, but I couldn't see if it landed or not. Crack takes out the red. So one downside of Phoenix's situation is he didn't put the power bonk in a place that's easy to get to.
Yeah, held up a ribbon for a moment.
We're in a very dangerous position right now, and Phoenix knows it, and that was not the damage number you needed to see. This is a failed at this point. If he's just holding
900 damage, though. And the defense sword is protecting him from melee hits. Although the fast is coming. But missed again. Oh, but the nuke is going to take it out.
Yeah, the unfortunate part of Black Knight in this is not being able to cast Cure 4 on yourself. Or even Cure 3. And if you're down hit points, you have to question if it's heal pot time or if it's go time. And because the Cure 4 had just come out, as soon as I saw the swing hit for only 200 some damage, it's heal pot time. You know, we got to salvage this. But then you're on the clock too. When does the next slow 2 come out? Alright, Kraken 2 on Chanigan's side, Carry Floor on Phoenix's side. You know, as tilting as this Topher has to be for both of our runners, I don't think either one of them would have it any other way. Like, this is just a good follow-through to the game 3 of this series happening.
It has been really fun learning the vanilla bosses with the Winter Tournament. Of course, vanilla with an asterisk. These have way more health than they would in vanilla.
Way more stats as well, and that plays in a lot. Fighter and Thief are very strong in this flag set. We've seen black belts routinely get bodied just because of how much time they have to sink into the levels when we're doing local formation marked boxes for our shards. It's just, we got to get those pieces together here to deal with the challenge in front of us. The high stats, though, what it can mean is more tempers being cast or needing the better crit weapons and making adjustments like that. That's, again, why I called out the defense sword. It just has higher crit than the X-Cal. And when you get to Chaos, like, we're talking like a saber or two of difference in attack power versus like 3 times the crit. Probably
Right, and
more
we
like 2
do
times.
have we do have the power bonk, which does make it a very viable strategy.
Yep.
Both of the runners still very close together. And Tiamat falls. And Chanigan is about to go in for another round against Chaos. If he gets past the Sorcerers, which thankfully he does. Because the Sorcerers, even though they show up relatively early, the Death Touch can still be scary.
Rubes has me questioning my life right now. So time to find the spreadsheet.
Meanwhile, Crack comes and takes out the White Mage on Chanigan's side. Interesting strategy I'm seeing here. The ninja is getting all of the tempers, while the fighter is getting the power bonk. So we're going with a 2 melee strategy against Chaos.
I stand corrected, and Rubes is correct in the assessment. They actually do have the same base crit. However, the defense is a +4 sword versus a +2 X-Cal. So, it's alright. I'll take that out. Yeah, the
Glow
call out
2
here.
lands on the fighter on Chanigan's side.
That is probably why that ninja was being buffed up as well, and trying to rely on the crits and having the 2 melees.
And they're both still doing good damage. This might be it. Meanwhile, Phoenix is also at Chaos, but Crack took out the fighter, and we have an immediate reset. So the big question is,
adjustment happening.
it looks like Phoenix is deciding to go and grab spells.
Oh, he never learned life on the white.
Both life spells were really high, but this might be the thing needed to get through Topher. We do have life 2 in battle.
Meanwhile, Chanigan thinking about making adaptations from the looks of it, and then deciding against it.
Runners side by side. I don't think it's been closer than this all game.
Both of them on the carry floor.
Resetting as the black or white mage gets taken out on the Phoenix's side by carry. With how cruel Topher has been, it does seem that's not worth going further into the second half if you don't have all of your essential party members.
That is the hard part about this particular Topher, is everything is playing just rude enough. It wouldn't be so bad if the slow 2 didn't seem to have 100% chance to land.
Ro16, so the play here was actually double white mage, lol. Which does have a bit of weight to it with how few life casts there have been. Although I do think that having fast on that red mage makes a huge difference. But both runners are probably really wishing that they had better healing ability. Lots of important spells rolled high this seed.
It's always nice seeing the fighter put down to 10% of his hit points. Alright. Back to Tiamat and Kraken 2. We're going for it. Bane doesn't land. There was a wall on deck. Oh man. That's a feeling right there.
I think 700 damage on the first swing. That's pretty good.
It is pretty good. Question, did they ever get exit? It was level 7 in Onrak. So
And
I
know
think
that Phoenix
picked
got
it up.
it.
I don't think Chanigan bothered.
Hey, we're putting the white mage first in this attempt and buffing up the fighter. The white mage does not get off the ruse, though.
Rip White Mage. So, question in chat about using exit in here. So the fiends are actually spike tiles in Topher. So you're going to have to refight them if you leave. Now, what's very common is to take a grind on the 3rd floor of Topher, which is pretty awesome. The experience on the 3rd floor of Topher is pretty good. In mid Topher, it is quite literally the floor you start on. So, yeah. Slow 2 continues to target the knight. Phoenix is through Tia 2.
Trying to send out a Brack. It's a very small chance, but sometimes it will land. So I think we're out of time.
Does Phoenix move the ribbon? Nope.
Eight health and Lightning 3 takes out Chanigan's knight.
1 hit point Red Wizard.
Cure 4 does come in time.
We're locking, we're power bonking, we're white shirting. We're getting pretty safe here.
I think this one might be it. We haven't seen too many spells come out of Chaos yet either. There's the Lightning 3.
Slow 2 hit
Slow 2
the
hits.
White Wizard. Okay.
This time the White Wizard did survive and acted as the proper shield. And Chaos gets off the Cure 4.
I mean, it was going to happen eventually. But the good news now is the Fade caster is the one who has the slow 2.
And we are doing a lot of damage. That was 800 from the Knight.
Wait, swing time. For 1800 on that
damage
swing.
Terminated. Congratulations to Phoenix.
And GG's to Chanigan, who immediately throws in the towel, and I 100% get it. By the way, they came in here while we were finishing up that Chaos fight. You're supposed to go to the waiting room, boys.
What's that?
Wait for no one after that.
Oh my god.
Well, GG's.
I have a lot of words for that chaos, but can't say them on stream.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was so rude.
Oh boy. Every time I made it, like every dive I made it to chaos, and every time slow 2 hit my Knight.
It was
Yeah,
brutal to watch.
The only times I didn't make it to chaos were the times that I reset because Carrie backrode my White Wizard or something.
Yeah. Man.
Well, I think you both put on a heck of a show. This Topher just decided to be the showstopper.
Oh yeah.
This is the rudest Topher I've seen in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that bad Topher. Well, Topher wasn't too bad. It's just chaos. Yeah. Like, I could have gotten it if Swirl didn't hit so hard on not my last dive, but the one before, and hit for 220 damage while I had a Cure 4 on deck.
And that did do quite a lot.
Yeah, and it just killed off my ninja. So I'm like, yep. And slow 2 just hit before that, so. Ugh.
So
the scene was good. The scene was good until that point.
Yeah. Except for that, I hear you like fetch quests before you get a boat.
Oh man, I skipped this fetch quest and went directly to Earth Cave.
I did not. I went Volcano first.
Yeah, I skipped
did
Volcano.
Everything before that.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I did Volcano last.
So Phoenix, I have to ask, how were your words coming out when you bonked off of the orb?
Well, my toddler is sleeping about 10 feet on the other side of a wall, but there was a very long sigh. I swore I thought it only said I needed 2. I found 2. Then I found the Excal. I'm like, perfect. Let's go, because I'm sure Chanigan is at the very least in Topher. Yeah. And then I didn't have one.
And you could have gone back into Mirage.
I didn't even check the chest in Mirage.
There were like 2 or 3 shards on the first floor.
Yeah, that's not
there were
surprising. Because I was only in. I needed to get that Excal out of Sky. So I knew it was in Sky, so I wasn't going to check anything in Mirage. I figured I'm sure I can get 2 shards in Sky. Probably could have gotten 3 too, but you know, I'm a dumb.
Were you swinging a saber +4 for like most of the seed, and then found a ice sword? Oh, you must have found.
I found that ice sword early in Volcano. Yeah. So but there was no way I was going into Topher with that.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I dig the Excal in Sky too, and just skip. I did the first floor, skip Sky 1, skip Sky 2, and went top and found the Excal. I'm like, welp, just gotta go kill Tia.
Yeah, now. I totally skipped Sky 2, and then I skipped Tia. I had exit, so I just got right out of there. When maybe I should have gone to take Tia out. I'm not mad. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh boy, not gonna lie, I hit my disc once, at least once or twice on that during that scene. I was so mad on the slow too. Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah, that chaos was... I have nothing positive to say about that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. You know,
I think I was in Topher for like 28 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, I had to have been getting close to that. I think I went in around the 1 hour mark.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple minutes later. I'm sure you were in there before me after my oopsie.
Oh.
I did think it funny looking in the race room as the finish happened, seeing you forfeit, Chanigan, and then saying thank you in all caps.
Yep.
I would have done the exact same thing if he finished
Yeah.
finished before me. That chaos was just so beyond rude.
Oh boy. Well,
Yep.
at least I'm done. I can now focus on the Lithuanian League. So yay that.
I mean, you could do the last chance qualifier, right?
Yeah, I could. But do I want to? That's the other question. I don't even know when it is.
Hashtag soon.
Ish. Yeah, I think the round of 16 wraps up tomorrow. So
Yeah, something like that. Okay. We'll see if I can make it. I don't know if I'm free the next few days because I think it's async. So I need to find a hole somewhere. But we'll see. Maybe I'll have time.
And Phoenix, we don't know your opponent just yet because Game 3 of Fellison versus Budgemano is tomorrow morning. How are you feeling about either potential matchup?
I mean, I'm just happy to be here. I'd never even gotten past the round of 32 in a winter tournament before, so either or.
I got you.
Yeah.
I think both are very scary runners. So
I think I never made it past round of 16 in winter tournaments. So I never do good.
Yeah, I always have self-inflicted wounds.
Oh well.
No, but it'll be good. Either one of them goes forward. I'd love to go against Budge because Budge is my co-op partner, Fall League teammates, the guy that beat me for Duckling Supreme in our Duck Derby. So certainly love to go against him. And Fellison scares the crap out of me. She is like just on fire. So go Budge.
And shout outs to the matchup that they've had so far. Game 1 between the two of them was a barn burner. That one was a very good game. And unfortunately, Fellison had computer issues in Game 2, so it was, Budge just needed to finish the seed to get it to 1-1. But again, they have their match 10:30 tomorrow morning, I want to say. Always a trip trying to schedule with as much time zone difference as we have between.
Yeah.
11:30 Eastern tomorrow is the race there. That's going to be on Speed Gaming, one of the channels. We'll figure out. All right. Franklin, you got anything for these fine folks?
And no questions. Just it was a really great race. You were very close for almost the entire thing. Also want to give a big thank you to Wildham for excellent tracking and Mechlin for handling our restreaming.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll go on to our final thoughts with our runners here. So Phoenix, what you got, man?
GG's Chanigan. I think this is the first time I've actually beaten you before, so that's pretty cool. Thanks for the crew for coming out, all for you. I know this was pretty last minute, so thanks for that. Thanks to RPG Limit Break for the channel, and GG's.
All right, Chanigan, your final thoughts.
Yeah, pretty much the same as Phoenix. GG's Phoenix. I think, yes, this is the first time that you've beaten me in the tournament. So there's a first at everything. But yeah, no, that was a nice day to do all 3 seeds. I'm pretty happy with how I played. I played well, but just RNG wasn't with me for seed 2 and 3. But otherwise, I don't know. It was fun. We'll see if I can do the LCQ. And yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, good people, if you like what you saw and you haven't yet come over to our Discord, you should do that by clicking on the Discord link that just came up in chat. We've got plenty more Winter Tournament action coming up in the next couple weeks. So if you give yourself the spectator role, you will get a ping when we are getting ready to put on one of our restreams. We're also doing what we call our Bicky broadcasts for things that didn't get full restream. That's kind of a VOD playback deal. So check out all the different matches that we've had going on throughout the tournament. And if you are not yet playing this game and you are interested, well, boy howdy do I have a deal for you, as we are middle of March, around the week of the 23rd, I believe it is, going to be starting the next Duck Boot Camp, where us champ folk start teaching y'all how to beat us champ folk. Because, man, we like it when you guys come in and whoop us. We've had so many people come through the Duck program and turn into fantastic racers. But we try to go a little bit more holistic now and show off some things that we don't really put into competitive, as well as, you know, we play both sides. Let's put it that way. So there's lots of things to learn about Final Fantasy Randomizer, and we're happy to teach you. So check that out. Again, that is a 6-week program starting on the week of March 23rd. And at the end of that, we've got the Duck Rally, the Duck Derby. I'm getting my races confused. A series of races designed specifically for our new players to come in and compete against each other. So if you're interested in that, again, come hang out, give yourself the Duckling role, give yourself the Spectator role, and we'll see you around. With that, I've been Saracen. We've had Franklin the Radical Nerd in here with me on comms, Wildham our tracker, Mecklin89 our restreamer, and our fabulous racers Phoenix and Chanigan. Give them both follows. And with that, have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.